Hello, welcome back. In this video, we're going to look at file handling in Python. By file handling, I mean from a Python program, you can create a new text file and write data into the text file. And you can also open an existing file that has content and read the content from the file and display it in the console. This type of file handling is one of the very common use cases for Python programs. In Python, very often you will work with many data files, which you will use a Python program to open, read data, and work on the data. We're just going to look at some simple examples of that. We're going to see how you can create a new file and write data into it, and also how to open that file and read the data that you wrote and then display that into the console. Let's switch to our editor. I'm going to create a new file and I'm going to save it as writefile.py. Now the first thing you would do to create a file, so what we're going to do is create a new text file and try to write some data into it. Now the syntax goes like this. You do f equals, and it doesn't need to be f, it can be any variable. You do open is the function you'll use. Open takes two parameters or arguments. First one is the name of the file. Let's say we want to create random.txt. That's the name of the file. And then comma. The second parameter is to tell Python what you want to do with it, with that file. Now in this example, we're going to create a file and write data into it. So you specify W for write. If you are going to read an existing file, you will type R, but we'll see that example later. Currently, we want to create a new text file, random.txt, and we're telling Python we want to write into it, which is why the second parameter is W. And now you can use f.write method to write data into it. So let's say I want to write hello, this is line 1, and then f.write. You can write, you can do as many f.writes as you want. You can say this is line 2. So we're trying to write 2 lines. Hello, this is line 1, and then this is line 2. And whenever you open a file, you should always make sure that you close it by calling the close method. It's not a good practice to leave that open. You should always close any file that you open in your Python program. And that's it. So we opened a file called random.txt, which, as you can see, does not exist here, right? We see the writefile.py, which is the program we're working with. You don't see a random.txt, but Python will create it for you. And then we're telling Python we want to write into it. And then we are using the write method to write 2 lines into the file, and then we're closing it. Save it, and let's try to run it. It's running. It says it's finished. Now, as you can see, there is a random.txt created. Let's open it to see what it contains. So this is interesting. It does have hello, this is line 1, and it also has this is line 2, but it is not in the second line. It's all in the same line. That happens because Python does not add a new line character. That's what it's called, a new line character at the end by default. You have to tell Python that after a particular text is written, if that is going to be the end of the line. There is a simple way to do it. So let's go back. We want to add a new line after this because we want this is line 2 to be in the second line in the file. To do that, you just do plus \n. Now this is something new you might be seeing now, but all this means is add a new line character. Anytime you do a backslash and something, that always has a special meaning. Here \n means add a new line character. That's all you need. So I'm going to save it again. I'm going to run it. So it's finished. So now you have, hello, this is line 1, and then there is a new line, and then you have this line 2, so which is good. We got the output we wanted. But another interesting thing that happened here is that the line that you saw originally, where everything was in the first line, is gone. That means Python actually overwritten the original content. So that's a key thing to remember. Whenever you open a file with write, if the file already exists, Python is going to get rid of everything on that file and basically overwrite that with the new content. So that is a key thing to remember. There is a way to append to the file. That's what I'm going to show next. But keep in mind that if you are opening a file with the intention to write and the file already exists, Python is going to overwrite everything in that file. So this is good. So we got the output we wanted. Now we want to see how to append to it. Let's do open again, because we opened a file, wrote it, and we already closed it. I just want to show you the example of appending. So I'm going to do this again. Random.txt, and this time we want to specify a. That means append. Now we can say write, this is line 3, and then f.write, this is line 4, and then we'll do f.close. Now I'm going to go up here and add a new line here. I'm going to add a new line here, and I'm just going to add the new line here just to show you that we don't really need to concatenate or add the \n as a separate string. You can add it to the string itself. So this string, what it says is, this is line 4 with a new line character. I'm saving it and now running it. There is an error. Let's see what happened. Attribute error, line.8, if.open random.text a. Object has no attribute open. Oh, sorry. It should say f equals. Sorry about that, but it's good. This is how, when you get errors in Python programs, you will go back and look what happened. Instead of saying f equals open, I did f.open. I'm saving it or running it again. So now it finished. If I open random.text, so this time also it overrode what was there. It wrote line.1 or line 2 or line 1 and line 2, and then line 3, line 4. So that's how you will open a file to write, which will overwrite the content in the file if it already exists. And then this is how you will append. So that's the simple example I wanted to show about writing files. The next, we're going to see how to read a file.